amusing thing is, they'll probably give me a medal for shooting you.
Oh, no. You like that? Oh, what is going on? Before the Matrix, before Neo, dodging bullets. 5 billion years before 1999. That movie came out in 1985. Remo Williams, The Adventure Begins and Ends at the same time, which we will talk about. That's right. Before Neo did it, Remo did it. That's right. What's going on, Movie Dojo Army? Simon, what's cracking? Thanks for the don't know. Phat Samurai Guy, you are incredible. No, you are better than that. I like that. You are better than that. Yeah, I like that. Very nice. Very nice, Simon. What is going on? Who we got in the house? Who is here from the Movie Dojo Army? We got Tyler in the house, Jake Hall, Mike Swift, Heather Love. That's right. Oh, shit. All the badasses are here. Brad is here. Ethan's here. Fluffy Pig Monster is here. It's one of his favorite B movies growing up. All right, we're here to talk about Remo Williams, son. That's right. And we're going to decide by the end, is it really that bad? And I'm also going to play, of course, or I'm going to show the internet voice. You guys always have a voice here, right? What you guys thought about the film as well. So we're going to get into it. So, dude, I used to... well, hold on. This is, Phat Samurai Guy is here with Erik, the Asian movie enthusiast. There we go.
They know who I am by now.
Sorry, I was already into the movie. I was, the posing and the bullet dodging. I was like, we got Erik up in the house. I couldn't talk about the movie without Erik here. So yeah, subscribe to Erik, the Asian movie enthusiast. Phenomenal channel. But yeah, thanks for hanging out with us tonight on this episode of Is It Really That Bad? And dude, I remember watching parts of this movie here and there on TV all the time when I was a little samurai running around with his bowl of cereal, you know what I'm saying? But I don't remember watching it from beginning to end uncut. I just don't remember. It just is like, edited on TV. I know it's a PG-13 movie, but still, it's still edited. You know how TV is back in the day, right? So I don't remember the movie, but I remember not hating it, at least in terms of watching scenes here and there. And I remember having a good time with it, but it's been so many years since I've seen it. 5 billion years have passed now, so I'm 5 billion years old now. And I'm just kind of like, this is a perfect opportunity to have the chance to revisit this movie and finally watch it, from beginning to end, uncut, and take a shot at it and to decide, does it deserve the Rotten Tomatoes critics score rating? That's why we are here to talk about and discuss movies, which is what we love doing. Erik, what is your past with this film? Do you have a past with it, or is this your first time watching it?
No, I remember I watched it a handful of times when I was a little guy running around. I think I was drinking coffee instead of eating cereal, but that's okay.
You would.
Yeah. But yeah, I remember liking it as a kid, and I watched it again maybe 5 years ago for the first time in like 20 years.
Okay.
So this is the second time I've seen it as an adult.
Okay.
But some of the scenes, even when I watched it again 5 years ago, there were some scenes that were always burned into my mind when I was a kid that we'll talk about tonight. And that, we'll see if they hold up or not. But yeah, I remember enjoying it as a kid.
I remember, we'll get into it, but I'll remember it. I remember the dogs.
Yeah.
When you're a kid, it's hard to forget dogs in movies. I remember the dogs, but we'll talk about the dogs a little bit later. All right, so let's go ahead and get into it here. Do you have IMDb open on you, per se?
I have Wikipedia.
That's fine. Just kind of give a brief plot synopsis and then go over the actors that's in the movie, if you don't mind. If not,
I'll do my own little personal synopsis here that I already had written down.
That's even better.
So a New York City cop is recruited by the Quaker Oats guy, a one-armed black dude, and a Korean martial arts master to take down a military man who is above the law. That's your plot.
That's it. Love it.
So now, the actors in here are Fred Ward, who a lot of people know from Tremors, but
Yes.
I remember him from like that Bette Midler movie Big Business and the Keanu Reeves film. Which one was that? Chain Reaction.
Oh,
He was in Chain Reaction.
I've never seen
too.
that. I've never seen Chain
Yeah.
Reaction.
So he's in this. Wilford Brimley is the Quaker Oats guy.
Diabetes.
And you got J.A. Preston as McCleary, Mac.
Mm-hmm.
And then you got Joel Grey as Master Chun.
Mm-hmm.
And that's your main cast in this.
That's right. That's right. And yeah, I mean what was her name again? The female officer?
Kate Mulgrew, maybe?
Do you know who that is?
Wasn't she in Star Trek?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Captain Janeway. That's right. Captain Janeway. Her character was fun in this. She had spunk. She didn't want to be. She was like, yeah, like I know you know I'm a woman, but I'm here to work. And can I just work, please? You know, I got shit I need to get done. But yeah, she was spunky. She was kind of fun. But yeah, I was like, oh my goodness, it's Captain Janeway. I'm not used to seeing her so young, because especially she's in the Orange. You know, Orange is the New Black. She was on that show as well.
Oh.
So I'm used to seeing her that way.
Wow.
Yeah. So and you know, and of course from Star Trek Voyager. But yeah, a lot of course, you know, our boy Patrick Kilpatrick's up in here.
Yeah,
You know,
the Sandman.
The Sandman, son. The Sandman. You can't kill the Sandman. You know, every time I think it's official. Every time, no matter what movie it is or property, every time I see this guy pop up, I start smiling like that. I just like I think I love this guy. Yeah. That's Patrick. That's the fucking Sandman. Yeah. No matter what he is, I'm just like, yeah, Sandman's here. Oh boy. But I'll get this off the chest right now. Man, did I have a lot of fun watching this movie. I had a blast watching this. Now here's the thing though. There's some bad that comes with the good. And unfortunately, this movie bombed big time, and they were trying to set up a franchise. They actually signed on Fred Ward for 3 movies. They were that confident that it was going to be a franchise. That what they were trying to make was a red, white, and blue collar version of James Bond. That's what they were trying to do. Now, it's based off of this series called The Destroyer. Have you heard of that series, Eric?
I just read about it, but I haven't actually read them.
I'm assuming The Destroyer is a serious novel, a book of novels. I'm assuming. So I'm curious if diehard fans of the Destroyer series were like, what the fuck is this? When this movie came out, they may not have been expecting it to be campy. I'm just curious about that. But yeah, it's based off of the series The Destroyer. I mean, look at that title right there. You know, when you think of Destroyer, you don't think of this. You know what I'm saying? Like, you don't think of this as the Destroyer. So, like, I'm curious. You know, even though we had fun with the film, I'm actually curious of what people thought about the movie back then. But they were so confident they signed on Fred Ward to do 3 movies, and it just really crashed and burned hard. There was supposedly a TV pilot too for a series, but I don't know. Have you seen that? Maybe that's on YouTube.
I just heard about it the other day when I was looking up some info on this, and I never even heard of that one.
But they really were trying hard to do the blue-collar American version of Bond. They got Guy Hamilton, correct, to direct a Bond. You know, he's a Bond director. So it's kind of like they really tried hard here. And another thing I heard that the end finale was supposed to be this slam-bang action movie fest finale. But they ran out of budget, so they kind of just had to wrap it up. Were you disappointed with the finale? I know we're jumping around here, but that's fine. Don't forget, guys, spoilers. But yeah, go ahead, Eric. Were you disappointed with the, or you were fine with it?
Yeah, I always remembered, well, maybe not as a kid, but when I rewatched it like 5 years ago, the finale was a little disappointing, and it did continue that feel for me this time. But the film overall, it's not really a blockbuster style. In terms of like explosions and huge special effects sequences, but I feel like the finale could have been, well, it's not one of the, it's probably not even in the top 2 scenes of the movie. So that's the problem with it. You know, there's at least 2 scenes I rank above it in terms of action suspense.
Yes,
that's the problem with the finale.
Yeah,
it's not terrible, but
No.
it's not. It doesn't give you that crescendo that you want.
Right. But yeah, no, that was a good point because there were some really exciting action set pieces earlier, or at least stunt wise. Oh my god, this is insane. So in the beginning, you got our boy with bootleg Tom Selleck mustache, sitting in the cop car eating some donuts. Got his Miss Piggy New Jersey Jets bobblehead thing going. He's just hanging out. Some knuckleheads are mugging some other knucklehead, and I actually liked that fight.
Oh yeah,
that was actually, and it felt kind of realistic actually.
Yeah,
that was actually a pretty good fight. After he beats the crap out of them, his car gets pushed into the lake by what was his name? Mac, right. And he wakes up with no mustache, and he looks in the mirror in the hospital. He looks in the mirror, and he's like, and then Mac walks in, and he's like, "What did you do? Like, what did you do to my face?" And Mac goes, "You were ugly." We had to change it right off the bat. I'm like, okay, I got the tone of the movie. I got it, like right off the bat. He's like, "Well, we changed it. You were ugly." Oh man, but yeah, it was kind of like, you were the perfect choice. You didn't have any family. You used to be a Marine. You're a good cop. You weren't corrupted. So we need a guy like you. So they basically forced him to become, against his will, to become this super blue collar spy to take down corruption.
And one quick point.
Oh, go ahead.
I just remembered I read the Wikipedia thing, and this is how they describe it.
Oh no! Oh no!
They say, well, number one, he's named after the bedpan in his hospital room. Remo Williams was at the bottom of the bedpan, I think. And his face is surgically altered by shaving his mustache.
Yeah, by just going, just take the mustache off, and yeah, he's handsome now. Yeah, I was just like, come on, I think they could have done a little bit better. Like, at least have some kind of facial, prosthetic on him or something that got to make him look a little different. But they're like, fuck it, it's motherfucking Remo Williams. Who cares? So, but yeah, they took the mustache off. He's a totally different guy. But actually, it's kind of funny. That kind of reminds me of a real life experience. A long time ago, I got a new job at the time, and they required no facial hair. So I didn't tell Lady Fat Blood about it. So I went to pick her up from work, and I'm sitting in the car because she's known me forever like this. So I'm sitting in the car, and then she got in the car and closed the door and turned, and she was like, "Ah, who are you? What have you done with my husband, you doppelganger?" Yeah, so that was hilarious. I couldn't stop laughing. She was like, "Oh my god!" Felt like I was cheating on my husband with him, with a clone. So there you go. It's legit. Remo Williams is legit.
Yeah, hey.
There you go. Shave the mustache. You're a different guy. But it always made me laugh talking about that. But yeah, they kind of force him into, hey, this is your deal, man. And plus, we're gonna need you to take out the riffraff. You know what I'm saying? Which means, be an assassin. But first, before we give you the list of who we need you to take out, we need you to take out this one guy first. So they drop him off, and they're like, he's in this apartment. Take him out and get out of there really quick. He goes in there and meets Master Chun, and he thinks maybe Master Chun's like the servant, the cook or something. He doesn't really think like he's the target. And then once he realizes he's the target, he's like, what the hell? So he tries taking him out, which is a very fun, look at that, before Neo, y'all. That's right. Very, very fun opening action sequence here. Him trying to shoot Master, and then the Master just punking him out, using some kind of chi powers, once in a while here, just totally embarrassing this dude, which was a lot of fun. But yeah, you could take it from there, Eric.
Yes, as Remo realizes, it was all kind of a setup from his own guys just to introduce him to his new master. Yeah, and this dude's a Korean character, and he tries to teach him like the mastery of his particular martial art, which apparently was made up for the film or the Destroyer series. And so they go through it, like the whole next 20 minutes are like training sequences. Yeah. And some of them I actually kind of like. Yeah. There's a few, you get some basic stuff, where Remo is giving him attitude, and then the old dude shows him like he's really means business. there's a scene where it's like a balancing obstacle course they set up in the apartment, and Remo's like taking his time and he makes it all the way through the obstacle course, and he's like giving the old man some jazz, like rubbing it in, like, come on, baby, you got to make this harder. And the old dude turns the lights off. And Remo tries, and he just falls falls on his face. So I kind of like that scene too.
Yeah, those were a lot of fun. So let's get the minor negative thing out of the way. Okay, all right, let's get it out of the way now, since everything else in the movie we had fun with and enjoyed. Obviously, in today's world, Master Chun. Probably it wouldn't go over well if, let's just say, if somebody tried to do that now. It would not be that actor would be canceled immediately. What's really funny though is the actor. He actually had to sit through like 4 hours a day for the makeup for the character, and just to show how things were different back then. He actually got nominated for Best Supporting Actor for Golden Globe nomination. So yeah, things were different back then, but I don't know. It's like, I don't recommend it. Let's just say, if moving forward, I don't recommend it. I'm sure. I mean, not only would people probably get offended now, I'm curious if people were even offended back then. I'm sure they probably were. So I mean. Despite us enjoying the movie, that is probably the only negative thing. Now, take that away. Is the character of Chun fun? Yes.
Yeah.
Bad choice on choosing the actor to play the character of Chun, but remove that. Was the character of Chun in the movie fun? Man, he had me busting up. I was rolling, man. I was cracking up. Yes, we're discussing Remo, Sexy Sumo. He just popped in there. Yeah, so it's like, as soon as he walks in, before the whole training sequence, he goes, "You move like a pregnant yak."
Yeah. Yeah.
And he would do these little things. He would be in the kitchen. He'd be like, "Put your hands on top of your head." And then he just kick him in the nuts. And then he's like, "Did I tell you to keep your hands up there?" Right? He's like, "Your reaction stinks." Like, just all kinds of funny shit, man. Like, and he's like, "You need to eat some good food. You need some healthy shit." He's like, do you know why Americans call it fast food? Because it speeds them up on getting to the grave. I like his laugh, too. His laugh was like,
yeah.
Because he like barely showed emotion.
Yeah.
So he was so proud of that joke. He actually had a goofy little laugh. Yeah. So the character, you can watch this movie and you can at least enjoy the character of Chun. It was just a bad casting choice. That's all. I mean, what the fuck was Mako doing? I'm sure Mako, dude, they easily could have got Mako.
Come on.
They could have got Mako, I'm sure, for the half the price.
Yeah.
I'm sure Mako would have done it. Mako
less special effects makeup artists.
Right?
Yeah.
Mako, if he's basically the same character he was in Battle Creek Brawl with Jackie Chan. Like, they could have just casted Mako. I mean, I know Mako's Japanese, but I'm just saying the
they
point
just change the character or something.
Yeah.
They do that all the time for live action.
Right. But again, you can at least enjoy the character of Chun. But yeah, we have this side plot with Villain Ray. And of course, our boy, from Rocky IV is in this movie. Whatever he hits, he destroys.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, he's in this movie. Has that guy ever played a good guy?
No.
I wonder, man. It's like, has that actor ever played a good guy? But yeah, we got some botched weapons, these special, what do they call it, AR-60s, that they're trying to sell, under the black market here, and they're just exploding, blowing up soldiers, and they think they're going to get away with this? I'm like, the guns are blowing them up. It's not going to work. So, of course, our feisty Captain Janeway here is investigating, and of course, that kind of, that doesn't really go her way later, but we'll get to that when we get to that. But yeah, let's talk a little bit about this guy.
Yeah.
Go ahead, Erik.
And even before he shows up, there's another training sequence on the Ferris wheel that I liked, where Remo's jumping from the different compartments. That was a cool scene.
Dude, there is legit stunts in this movie. And I didn't know. I mean, you can kind of tell because there's no fucking blue screen or green screen back then. But you can kind of tell that Fred's doing his own shit.
Yeah, he did some of it.
Yeah, he actually did some of his own shit. And that's fucking impressive, man. That's really, really, really impressive.
Yeah, so Sandman I'm just calling him Sandman. Sandman shows up, and he's in the car doing some shady stuff, and Remo confronts him immediately.
Yeah.
And he gives him a little chokehold there. And the lady cop comes by, and she says something funny to him, too. The lady cop's like, if you don't get your hand up, I'm going to beat you. And Remo's like, all right.
Take your kung fu grip someplace else.
Yeah, Remo's like, all right. But the problem with Remo doing that, now he's exposed himself because they take a picture of him.
Yeah.
And it gets back to Quaker Oats guy. And the Quaker Oats guy, and I like this dramatic scene. You got Remo and the Quaker Oats guy and Mac. And Remo's just like, so what? Let's take this guy out. And Quaker Oats is like, listen. He's like, if we're about to get exposed, we're all expendable. And he basically says, we're all done. Yeah. Like we're just dead. And your buddy, the Korean guy, he's responsible for taking you out. And Remo's just like, that was a good scene because Remo's like, oh man, this is actually pretty serious situation I'm in. Yeah. So that was a pretty cool scene. And then we get the one of the big set pieces right after that. Sandman hires some. Where is this? Which city is this set? New York City, right?
New York. Yeah.
Yeah. So we get some New York City construction workers you don't want to mess with to take out Remo Williams.
Yeah.
On the Statue of Liberty.
This was phenomenal. This was really good stuff, man. Like again, legit suspense, thrilling stunt work. This is some Jackie Chan shit. Like seriously, there's some really good stuff in here, man. Really good stuff. And of course, Remo's got I love how he caught up to the construction workers and whooped their ass. That was great. And then later he gets chased by Gene LaBelle. Did you notice him chasing after him? Gene LaBelle was one of the bad guys.
Okay.
But we have our, we have our training sequence when he starts to be able to kind of get that light style, you know what I'm saying? That light style. And Gene LaBelle's chasing him right here, and he's able to, there he goes, falling in. Gene LaBelle, fucking, and that guy's looking like, what the fuck?
I have a wet cement story.
Oh, okay.
When I was a kid, I made a really bad decision at one point.
Yeah.
Me and my buddy were having a race, and he was getting on my nerves that day, so I wanted to beat him. Right. So okay, let's race to my house. I was like 10. Right. And we're racing. Yeah. And I'm on the sidewalk, and he's like on the grass, and we're running down the street, and there's a wet cement sign on one of the neighbors. Yeah. And he takes off towards the street, and I'm like, I got his ass.
Oh no.
So I was betting. I looked, and I was betting that it was dry.
Oh no.
So I hurdled the sign. I got on the cement, and I realized it wasn't totally dry.
Oh no.
So sure enough, of course I couldn't just run away, because the owner of the house, just happened to be standing on the opposite side of the street talking to the neighbor. So I got in trouble for it. And that's my wet cement story.
So you're Gene LaBelle right here.
But the best part of the story is my dad was kind of a tough guy. So I was just sitting in my room in the dark, waiting to be punished.
Destroyed. Yeah.
Because that's what we did back in the day, kids. There'd be problems. I'm just sitting there.
Oh yeah.
And my dad walks in my room. He goes, Erik. He's like, don't worry about it. The guy's a jerk. I was like a stay of execution. So apparently my dad had a beef with this particular neighbor way back in the day. So yeah, that's someone taking your head out of the guillotine at the last second.
Wow. I got one for you really quickly. Senior trip on high school that we went to Catalina Island, and it fucking sucked. Thankfully, because there was nothing to do there. I'm sure there's probably stuff to do there now, but when we went back then, it was like fucking nothing to do. Thankfully, one of our homies snuck a Super Nintendo into the one of the hotel rooms, and that's all we did was play Killer Instinct.
Oh,
We had
wow.
Killer Instinct Tournament. That saved the whole fucking trip because everything else was fucking boring. They had one movie theater playing one movie, or you go to the fucking the fast food shit is like so expensive, and they had a mini arcade, and guess what the mini arcade was? It was 8-bit Nintendo games in cabinets, and they were charging like 75 cents to play like Excite Bike. And we were like, man, we're going back upstairs and we're going to play Killer Instinct. Well, one night we heard a lot of commotion. Everybody woke up. We went outside. We were like, hey, everybody come out in the court. We gotta tell you guys something. And we're like, what the hell's going on? What's going on? And we go out there. And let's just say the 5 of the most popular students, right?
Oh no!
The most popular students, the do-gooders, the ones that never did anything, had the highest grades, were pitch perfect, all got stupid and went on their own and drew their names and shit in wet cement and got caught by the cops. So they got sent home. Yes, the pitch perfect students that didn't do anything wrong had A pluses. They all got sent home. And we were like, wow, man, that's fucking crazy. All right, Killer Instinct? Killer Instinct? All right, let's go. All right, back to the movie. Oh, man. But, let's go back to some more fun Chun moments. So, again, it's the character that I enjoy. Like, I love it how he makes him dinner. You know, and he's like, Chun, I really like you, man. And he goes, of course, I'm Chun. But there's sometimes I want to kill you. Good. You can try to kill me after we eat dinner. But it was little things like that. I'm like, this is hilarious. What other? Come on. Can you imagine watching The Karate Kid? And at some point in The Karate Kid, Mr. Miyagi just whips out a pistol and starts shooting at Daniel's son. Could you imagine this? I mean, come on. How could you not like this character? I was laughing my ass off. Just right there in the kitchen. No, I'm going to just whip it out. I'm going to just bust a cap and go gangsta. Yeah. Oh, man. I just want to
Even when Remo gets the best of him and he's walking away and the gun clicks, he's like, you used the other 4 bullets yesterday. And then he shoots one off. He's like, I reloaded. He's like, oh, no. There's some good stuff in this.
It's just too much fun. But yeah, the Statue of Liberty stuff, really legit stuff, really good. And I'll let you talk about the plot synopsis from there a little bit, because I'll let you talk about the dogs.
Oh yeah, that's right. Now there's a so Remo goes on a team mission with Mac. You know, him and his buddy Mac, and they go to it was like a facility.
Yeah.
Where they had some type of like a special device in there that they wanted to like get information on or something like that, right?
Right.
And so they go into this facility, and it's like a facility with like an electric fence surrounding it and security. So they got to get in and out. And on the outside, you have the electric fence, and Mac is just like hitting it with his hand, just testing it out. And Remo's like, man, did Chun teach you that? He's like, no. He's like, pulls down his arm. It's like a fake arm. I thought that was funny. And then they get into this facility, and then they split up. And Remo's got a deal with some dogs, some guard dogs. And these things show up. And that's definitely a scene that I remember from when I was a kid.
Yeah, me too.
And these dogs, they just keep one-upping themselves. This is before John Wick 3, folks. You know, it's before that. And yeah, this is up there with John Wick 3, and Operation Mekong has a dog that does some sweet stuff.
All right.
But yeah, these dogs pursue him, and Remo, it's kind of like played for laughs, but you're like, man, you get impressed by these things. There's a time where, you know, he runs up the stairs and the dogs like jump up and grab onto like this retractable ladder or stairs, and they bring the stairs down. They run up after him, and he
tactical.
Real tactical stuff. And Remo's always like, he's like, man, like these things are crazy. And then there's something before the big one at the end. They do something else. What am I forgetting? They did the stair thing, and then there's the line walking thing at the end, but they did something else in between, didn't they?
Well, there was another way up, so they split up. So
Yeah, they
one
split up.
One went this way, so they actually used strategy. One went up the steps this way. The other two brought down these steps and went up that way, so they could.
Right.
Yeah. He kind of
But
just blocked them off.
They get to a point where Remo is at the corner of a building on the roof, and there's a line, a walking wire or a wire, and Remo like balances himself on the wire to get to the other roof.
Right.
And the dog runs up, and Remo's like, "I'll see you later, buddy," and he runs away. And the dog proceeds to tightrope on the line between the buildings on a tightrope. I remember even when I was a kid, I never forgot that.
Oh my God.
I'm like, this is insane. These dogs are
Oh
absurd.
my God, dude, it's so funny. It's so funny, man. The dog said, "Fuck you, I'm still coming." Oh my God.
And the ultimate way they distract the dog is it rips off Mac's arm. And after that, it's just like playing with the arm.
Oh, and then again, I mean, despite the hilarity, again, going back to you talking about some dark moments, again, it got dark. Mac got shot.
Mm-hmm.
The villains tried to resuscitate him and keep him alive so they can get information. He ended up cutting the cord so that he could end up dying, so that way they can't, torture him for information. And then you have that scene where Remo goes back and he's like pissed off, talking to Diabetes, and then it's like shit. And then Wilford's just like, "We got you, don't we? You go out there and kill him. Do what you need to do."
Yeah.
But yeah, the dog.
But make it look like an accident, which we can decide on if he really did or not.
Yeah, I thought he was gonna do the move.
Mm-hmm.
I thought he was gonna do the move, but he ends up doing the move on the Sandman.
Yeah.
Which that was fucking great. So he clumsily, not like stealthy like Rambo or straight up ninja shit. He just kind of clumsily falls underneath. He's like hanging on the bottom part of the truck, and he just kind of just falls out and rolls all sloppy. Because Rambo's like smooth, you know what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
He just kind of stumbles out, and he's like, well, he gets caught by Janeway, and they start talking, and then of course the villain from Rocky IV basically is like, all right, we need to get these two together. So they capture both of them. They throw them in this gas chamber on the military base, and that's when our boy here, the Sandman from Death Warrant, shows up. That's right, with his diamond in his teeth. He just had one diamond in his tooth, right?
Mm-hmm.
What is the point of that? Where'd he get that done? Tiffany's?
Yeah.
But yeah, it's like, so there, the gas is going. Janeway falls out. Remo Williams falls out, and then Patrick goes in there to get some revenge for Remo punking him out and starts beating him up. Remo takes his mask off, and this is the what happened now. What happens next is the last thing I ever expected to happen. The last thing I ever expected to happen. So he takes his mask off, chat. And then he slams the Sandman up against the glass and uses the diamond in the tooths, and basically drags his head around to create a crack in the glass. Then after that, he does the killing move, blah, right through the eyeballs, takes the eyeballs out. The Sandman is dead. Then he ends up jumping through, breaking the glass, and they escape. And I was just like, this is fucking brilliant. I was not, I thought it was going to be something stupid like he would blow up later and then the diamond would fall up in the air and then the Janeway would catch the diamond.
Yeah.
It'd be something cheesy like that. Man, no, he just dragged his ass up against the glass and then boom, took his eyeballs out, 5 Fingers of Death style. And it was phenomenal. I was not expecting that at all. And let's see here. Oh, yeah, let's go ahead and take it from there. So what happens next?
Yeah, so after that, you basically get to our main villain who, Sandman, he really helps the villain crew because he's the most memorable dude out of all of them.
Oh, yeah.
Without him, it would have definitely degraded a little bit.
Yeah.
Because your main villain is just this older guy. He's just like, yeah, just like an average type villain dude. You know what I mean? Doesn't really have a whole lot of memorable aspects to him. But eventually, you have to take him out, right? So that it reaches a point where Remo is on like they're doing like logging or something around the facility.
Yeah.
So they have these huge trees that have been like cut, and they're transporting them on wires. And Remo gets on top of it, and his like one of his finishing moves for the I think he takes out the Russian guy this way, right? Where he cuts the log off, and then it falls down the hill, which is a pretty cool scene.
Yeah, hits some other logs. Which
and it hits the vehicle, and it takes it out. And also during this scene, remember Chun, who survives the most vicious car crash of all time
because he's Chun.
Because they're like they're driving down, right?
Yeah.
And their car like goes off of the cliff, and Remo and the girl get out, right? But Chun is still in the car, and you see this thing do like 15 like smashes down the mountain.
Oh yeah. So
I'm like, oh well, he's done. And then Remo goes down there, and the guy's like, he's just sitting there like, hey, how's it going? He's like not even hurt.
And she's like, and then Janeway's like, are you okay? And he's like, why wouldn't I be? He's like all offended. He's like offended she would even ask. And
that was a good scene too, because they took a real car, just threw that sucker off the thing, and just filmed it like crashed like 15,000 times down this hill.
It got destroyed. When Remo got to Chun though, he like moved the door, and then Chun's holding the handle, and he goes, in Korea, our door's open. It was ridiculous. So now we have our finale. They bring out the turret gun. The bad guys are trying to take out Remo while he's hanging. Again, more crazy hanging stunts in this movie while he's hanging on the log.
Yeah.
He cuts the log. It falls down, hits other logs. That rolls into the vehicle. The vehicle, you think everyone's dead on that. But our final guy somehow survives. He catches up with Remo, and then he's like, well, you're fucking dead. And what did the master say earlier? He's like, you dodged 2, but if you could dodge 6 bullets.
Yeah, that's right. He did say that.
So we had a little callback here. If you could dodge 6 bullets, then you're the shit. You're not the shit like Chun. You know what I'm saying? But yeah, the villain shoots at him 6 times, and I don't know what's my favorite. The the lean dodging bullets, or the slow as fuck spin around.
I love the spin around. Classic. You just.
It's just. I mean, hey, just remember that, man. You're getting shot at. Just stop. Just slow as fuck spin around. You'll be all right. So he ends up getting the drop on him, and like a straight up gangsta disarms the pistol. It takes the dude out. And then what cracked me up though is his martial arts skill at this point is like not. Of course, it's not up there with Chun. That's like Super Saiyan level. But he's so badass that he's walking away, and he picks up a random branch off the ground. Now, keep in mind that the vehicle's destroyed. It's flipped over. He throws the villain back there underneath the vehicle to make it look like an accident. And then he picks up, he's just walking away. He goes, who are you? What's your name? And he goes, I'm Remo Williams, bitch. Right? Walks away, grabs the branch, and then he just does this to the branch, and just, that's it. His martial arts chi level is just it's on fire. Causes the branch to go on fire. He throws the branch. Ends up blowing up the vehicle, and of course, it's the 80s, son. You know what I'm saying? We got to have our walking away explosion shot. That's how you do it, man. He's kind of close, Fred Ward.
Yeah.
That's kind of close for a lead actor, man. Wow.
Yeah.
Yeah, he's walking away. It looks. What do you think, Erik? Accident? He made it look like an accident?
Sure. Why not? The log slipped off of the thing, and it hit the things, and it knocked the thing off.
Yeah.
And it exploded.
Yeah,
sure.
It's good enough. But yeah, the rubbing and the throwing, that was funny. Then he meets up with Captain Janeway. They're in a boat. They're getting ready to leave. Excuse me. And then Chung shows up, but he's like kind of far away. There's no way he can get to them.
Mm-hmm.
And then the military shows up in his huge army, just getting close and surrounding Master Chun. And, I guess he's done, right? Oh,
Yeah.
Remo and the girl can get away, or at least, Remo's the one trying to escape. The girl's fine because it's her military. Yeah. She's fine. But no, motherfuckers, Master Chun is the fucking shit. Okay, this fool just said, no, I'm just gonna run across the water. Just gonna run across the water to where they're at. Fuck it, no, fuck it. I'm just that badass of a martial artist, and my chi powers are up to past 9,000. You know what I'm saying? I'm just gonna run across the water. Yeah, and the military are like, their faces are like, what the fuck is happening right now? Yeah, so like a pimp, Chun runs across the water. I love how he stands on the boat. He can't just get in the boat. He's got to stand like this on top of the front of the boat, where Remo drives away, and he tells the girl. He looks at the girl and he goes, "Believe it or not, we're the good guys."
Yeah,
that was great. And then they ride away. And while they're riding away off into the sunset, they're already talking shit to each other. Already talking shit. I always thought it was funny that you got this badass dude that could do anything and run across the water and shit, but his one weakness was soap operas.
Yeah.
He was like, "Shut up! All right, I'm watching my soaps." That always cracked me up.
Then Remo says, Chun, sometimes you're a real pain in my butt. And then he says, it's because it's the shortest route to your brain. And that's the end of the movie.
No, it's
Then he says, what was the last
He's like, "Chun, you're incredible."
Yeah.
And he goes, No, I'm better than that.
Yeah.
And then they ride off, and then it's credits. I had fun watching this movie, man. I wish I bought it a long time ago, at least on DVD. I had a blast. Again, we talked about the negative aspect of the film, stuff that doesn't fly today. The casting choice obviously was not smart and not a good idea for Chun, but the Chun character you can enjoy, which we did. Come on. Again, imagine Mr. Miyagi just pulling out a gun and just shooting at Daniel's son. That's just not going to happen in those movies, but it happens in this movie, all right? That's right. So, Remo Williams, man, I mean, how do you feel about it after rewatching it recently?
I like it. I find it kind of refreshing to watch this kind of film, just because it's not like a typical like action blockbuster, tons of CGI. It's super unrealistic in certain aspects, but it also has a certain groundedness to it kind of at the same time with like real stunt work and stuff. So it's pretty. I like it. It's a neat flick, and those dogs are awesome.
I really, really enjoyed watching it and finally seeing it, uncut, widescreen, with a good sound system and all that stuff.
And I heard some people write, Fred Ward's not a leading man and stuff, and I disagree, man. He had me locked in this whole film.
Do you want a blue collar? That's the point of the character. You wanted a red, white, and blue collar motherfucker.
Right.
Fred is as blue collar as it gets. It's like he's perfect for the type of role. What do you want, a pretty boy? You know what I mean? Like,
and every time he shows up in a movie, I like him. Even if he's in a side role, I feel like he kind of steals the show. I always liked him.
Yeah, if they're going for a Stallone type or an Arnold type, well, you hire them. But if they're going for a cop who used to be ugly apparently with a mustache, and they want a blue collar, somebody that could just blend in with anybody else and not stick out. He nailed it.
Mm-hmm.
And he even did some of his own stunts in the movie. I mean, what else do you want with this guy? I mean, look at this guy. I think he's perfect. I actually, now rewatching it and finally watching it the way it's supposed to be watched, I kind of wish there were 2 more movies, to be honest.
Yeah, I would have liked to have seen a few sequels.
Yeah. I mean, this easily could have been on our, is this movie underrated series? But since the score was so low on Rotten Tomatoes, I was like, well, let's revisit this for, is it really that bad? So, is it really that bad? Erik, is it as low? Is it really as bad? Is it really as low as 39% out of 100?
No.
I'm going to agree with Erik. So now let us see what the internet thought of the film. Look
Good.
at that. Look at that. And not even close.
Nope.
Not even close. Wow. Check that out. That kind of surprised me. Not even close. Look at that. The internet believes that it's entertaining enough that it should be higher than the 39%. If you were going to rate it within the Rotten Tomatoes system, what percentage would you give it?
I would say out of 10 or 100 people.
If you're going to use the Rotten Tomatoes, what percentage?
Yeah.
Because
I would expect
is certified fresh.
I would say 65.
Yeah, I agree. 60 to 65. Yeah, I'm perfectly fine with that. It's fun. And I agree with you. It feels different, you know. And even though the 80s is still the greatest era of movies, sorry. It's still the greatest decade of all time. You know, it's nice to have different even for the 80s, you know. I'm interested and curious how serious the Destroyer novels were. And if a serious version of Remo Williams would have worked. I mean, this movie bombed so bad, I'm pretty sure there's not going to be a reboot of Remo Williams.
No.
You know what they'll do, though? Hollywood would do it, right? And they'll cast Mark Wahlberg as Remo Williams, because you got to have a leading man. You can't just have a blue-collar dude.
Right.
It'll be Mark Wahlberg, and it'll be Iko Uwais as Master Master Chan. Oh, wait a minute. That movie already happened. I forgot.
Yeah.
22. But yeah, that's probably what will happen. So, well, this was great, my friend. I had a blast again. Always having you on the channel, talking movies, which is what we love doing. Don't forget, guys, to subscribe to Erik. That's right, the Asian Movie Enthusiast. Now, if you want to come back a little bit later at 7:15 p.m. Pacific, which is right around the corner, join the Samurai. I'm going to do a live trailer reaction of Venom 2 Electric Boogaloo, the official second trailer. So I'm going to do that. So make sure you guys show up because I want to hear what you guys think about it. And that's going to be fun. Tomorrow, me and Mr. Tony of the Dead join us tomorrow at 6 o'clock. We are going to be talking about Van Damme's newest film, The Last Mercenary, on Netflix. We're going to be reviewing that tomorrow at 6. And then at 8 o'clock tomorrow night, I'm going to do a live Q&A, and I'm going to have some giveaways. What? What is happening? I'm going to do some live giveaways during the live Q&A tomorrow at 8 o'clock. That's right. We're going to celebrate the 27th subscriber count, which will last for a month, and then it'll go back down to 26-something.
No.
That's what happens on YouTube, man. You go up and down, up and down, up and down. But yeah, we're going to have some giveaways tomorrow night. So tomorrow night's going to be fun. Wednesday at 6 p.m., we're going to Kung Fu comic book extraordinaire writer Chris Mancini is going to be hanging out with us, talking about his newest comic book. And versus Thursday, baby. That's right. We got Evil versus Eval. That's right. We have The Car versus Christine. That's going to be a lot of fun this Thursday. So, fun week. Awesome hanging out with you badasses. And I'll see you guys in a couple of minutes. We're going to check out Venom. All right, guys. Take care. See you guys next time.